Guys, this is Val from valkayink, and today we are finally unboxing this gorgeous Yoh Asakura figure from Shaman King, and I am so excited that he finally came in. Here are some close-up shots. You guys saw from the little montage in the beginning all of the details, but yeah, I just really love this figure. So this actually was delayed due to weather because we had a really rough winter, and this of course is the 20th anniversary figure, and I can't believe that I read this manga 20 years ago. Oh my gosh, it's crazy. So yeah, all you have to do is add the little Amidamaru flame. He's so cute, he looks just like the manga, into the hand, and of course you do have to place the katana in Yoh's hand to complete the figure, and it was very easy. Everything fits perfectly, everything's nice and tight without being too difficult. Of course, Yoh wouldn't be Yoh without his headphones. They look so good on this figure. And meanwhile, on this side, we also have the mini katana and the shoulder protection. They're so tiny and cute, they're perfect on this figure. I also really love the gradient on Amidamaru's flame. That's a really nice detail that I wasn't expecting. And of course, just everything, you know. Shaman King has such a specific style, and Hiroyuki Takai has this really angular art style, and it's really mimicked well in this figure, just from the cuffs of the sleeves and the cut of the shirt, the way the top of the pants are. You can really get the sense of the artist in this figure, and I'm just so happy with it. And of course, Yoh just has that nice, sweet, gentle face. Ah, this is really fun. I'm gonna zoom in on some other parts that I think are really interesting on this figure. One of the other cool parts of this figure is this base. Now, Yoh is secure on this. He is not going to be removable, but it is perfect. It really looks like the manga. Of course, we have the little gravestone here. We have this little bridge. I just love everything about this. There's even a gradient in the grass and a little stone back here. I love the unique shape. You know, it's really hard to make a natural looking base that fits on a shelf as well as still fits the style. And I really love figures that have these types of bases. Here is a close-up on the face. I do really love Yoh's character. He's just such a sweetheart. And this profile is probably one of the coolest profiles I have on a figure. I love the way his bangs come forward. It is always difficult with figures that lean forward as this face kind of goes forward. He needs to be on a high shelf to really see all of the detail in his expression, but his eyes are just lovely. It really mimics the art style and looks really great on the figure. Now, you might not expect it with a figure like this, but there's actually a lot of detail in this handle. I love the way this sword is done. It's just a beautiful katana. I love the wrap on it. This is Val from valkayink, and here is how from Shaman King, completely out of the box, and I just love how this figure turned out. Here is a full rotation. This is a very tall figure because of this massive stone base, which I will get some close-up shots of. But yeah, I just wanted to get a full shot for you guys. He's a little bit hard to see from this distance, so I'm gonna switch the camera up and zoom in on some of the features I really love about this figure. And just like we saw with Yoh, the art style is really captured in this figure, and I just love how this turned out, especially the hair. There's always these really intense highlights on the hair, and it's mimicked with the paint job here. And even just the flow of this nice long hair is mimicked in this figure. And I do love the way his eyes turned out. I think they're very smoldering, and that really brings out how his character. I love these flames. Yeah, this is definitely one of my favorite figures based on capturing the art style. But there's so much more to this figure. Let's just appreciate the face for now, and then we'll focus in on some other parts. How has a very specific outfit. It's supposed to, I don't know, just be very playful while still kind of menacing. I really like the way the gloves are done. They're just so wonderfully detailed. I love what I call these Lego parts. They actually say how on them. Love the stars. And just all of the folds and creases in the pants, a lot like Yoh's pants. It just really captures the art style while still like fitting in with the flow of the figure. And this cape is so stylized. It's really cool. I like how it's only slightly shaded, and a lot of the shadows in this cape are from these really intense grooves. You don't usually see that as intensely and as angular as you do in these figures, and it's one of those things you either love or hate, and personally I really love it. I think it looks really good. Lego feet! Here's some more detail shots. I love the way these are done. They look very cool. Again, you do just have to really love this story and this manga and this artist style to fully appreciate these figures. And even if you don't know them, you can still fully appreciate these figures. I really love the way this base is done, this realistic rock structure that he's sitting on. And I'll show you guys why he has that in a moment, but until then, you can really appreciate that some parts are more matte than others, some are more shiny, some have this texture on it. It's really an interesting little figure with small details everywhere that I'm really enjoying. Here is the shot of both figures finally together. I just love how these pair together. You really do need both just to get the whole scene, and I do love that the back side of Yoh's base lines up with the front of Hao's, so that you actually do have that perfect scene like you saw in the boxes. Everything really is in balance composition-wise. Your eye moves all around the piece. I'm really happy that these came out the way they did, and I did spring for both figures. I'm going to take a few shots just so you guys can see some close-ups of these two together. I do think it's fair to just have some final thoughts on these guys. I do love these figures more together than apart. I do think if you prefer one character over the other and you only have to own one, that's absolutely a great way to collect these. I like them together, personally. One thing about these figures that I'm not so keen on is that both of them have down forward facing figures, which means any figure that's facing forward, you know, it means you have to look at them from a lower perspective so that you can see up into their faces, and really what makes a figure is kind of capturing that character and that face. So I do have to put these guys kind of high on a shelf in order to display them the way I like. Again, it's entirely up to you how to present your figures. There is no right or wrong way, in my opinion. So yeah, maybe I would have changed that a little bit. I almost wish that Yoh was a little bit higher, so they could almost be on an even plane. But it's also nice that they went for this vertical kind of style, just because the way people collect figures, usually they get grouped on a shelf, so you kind of have to allocate space where you can, and it's easier to have two figures that kind of take up one big figure space than two. But it also looks good in this kind of landscape position as well. I do love what they did with the bases. I really don't have any complaints about this, other than maybe changing it up a little bit. It is nice to see a pair of figures that work so well by themselves as well as together. Again, these are twins, so they look similar and yet they still have their own sense of individuality, which I really appreciate. That's part of the story. And I just really love a lot of the details. If I were going to pick only one to own, I feel like I would pick Yoh, just from all of his little details, and just personally I like him more. But having Hao with him, and the idea that we got these for the 20th anniversary just still blows my mind. I'm very, very happy with them. So anyway, that is all I have to say on these guys. Let me know down in the comments below what you guys think, and I will see you guys in the next video. Hi to all my subscribers, you guys rock, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys!